Okay, so here's the second part of the exercise. So today it's the 7th of May, we're at Colin Brown's and we've flushed his donor. So we've got some more information we can get. So he tells us which cow it is. It's a new cow we haven't done before. So we can choose from here, name, so we'll call her Embryo, tag number 45, her lifetime ID, this is an official identification for her, and then the owner. So this can be a lot more, well, particularly the owner can be a lot more connected to his sheet. Occasionally we do work on farms, so we might be at Colin's farm, but we're flushing a cow that belongs to someone else. That does happen. Okay, so now we have sire. He's choosing a bull. He's not going to really mate it to a Hereford, but it doesn't matter here. So we can enter the bull here, we can choose a bull, or we can add the sire. We can record when she came on heat, and how she felt, whether she felt like she was going to have lots of eggs or not many. In this case, let's just say she felt like she was going to have 5. Okay. So that's just information. Ideally, apart from response, I'd like to be able to get Colin to enter this. If we can set up a system where he logs in, he can add all of this information in the run up to the program. So here's this program here. So the insemination is here. So in the period between 30th of April and the 7th of May, he should be able to update the cow information and the bull information himself. Ideally, this is where an app would be ideal. Ideally on his own phone, via a website would be okay, but if we, depending on whether it's feasible, and operating via an app would be the ultimate. Okay, so then we collect the embryos. In this case, I think there's going to be 5, and let's just imagine there is 5. So there are 3 unfertilized, let's say. That's stage 1, and they're not implanted because they're discarded. I think if we jump up here and refresh, the system has recorded them as discarded. So the system has recognised that they're unfertilised because they're stage 1 and said they're discarded. Then we get, let's say we get straw number 1. There's 1 because we're 1 embryo per recipient. It's a stage 5, grade 1, and it's implanted. So this should default to the days. Oh, sorry. Okay, recipient tag is recipient number 12. This is connected to nowhere, so I don't have any record of recipient number 12. But that's important that it needs to go into the system. This is very messy. So the recipient herd code it's a record of Colin's herd, and I don't know what it is, so I need to look that up. Again, very messy. So his herd code is 1/111. Okay. So what this part does is says that we've put one embryo into one of his recipients. If we come up to the top again, the purpose of this is to produce the embryo transfer certificate. So if we open this, this would go to the Angus Association. Sorry, I've done this. I put that cow in, but I didn't choose her. That's what we said. Okay. So here she is. No? Okay, so it's number 45. I haven't got a name on here. Bull, and the recipient is number 12. So this tells the Breed Association, the Angus Association, that that embryo has gone into that cow. There was also another embryo. This is my code 19MY07. So that tells us this should be automatic. It tells us this is basically the date backwards, so it's the 7th of May 2019. And this is an internationally recognised format for this. And we can call it embryo number 2. There was another embryo here that we froze, so it's not implanted. So it's good that these auto-fill down, but in this case, so I've put it in tank 4, canister 2, and it's yellow, white. Okay, embryo column number. I don't think I need to put that in there, but I should. This is not usually important, but sometimes it is because Colin might sell those embryos. So now if we refresh and look at our embryo transfer certificate, it says we implanted 1 and we froze 1 here. So Colin and the Angus Association will know what there was. Okay, so this system can be made more. Sorry, where's... Okay. So there's, and then up here it says that we had 3 unfertilised out of 5. There was 1 implanted and 1 frozen. So this information here is taken from down here. So we really want to just streamline the whole thing. But rather than doing this on a desktop computer, at the moment, when I flush cows, I fill out a form on farm, looks like that, and then my administrator enters this. I don't want that to happen. I really want the administrator to not have to do anything, and Colin and I, between us, would enter this information. So when we're out in the yards, he, on his telephone or his app, or my tablet, it could be any of those, the recipient tag would, he'd have this list here, and he would be able to enter recipient details and print off his own login and find his own certificate, so that he's always got a record of that. The other thing we need to link this to is in terms of reports, and there's not really the shortcut. Sorry, there is a shortcut on the main menu, but it doesn't work. So if I want to find what embryos Colin has, I need to go into frozen embryos by client name. I'm not sure what this one does, and I can just flick through. Oh, there. Brown. Okay, so here's our donor that we just did today. He's got 1 embryo from donor number 45, collected on the 7th of May, and here is the embryo. But as you can see, this system is very poor I'd really like Colin to be able to log into the system and find his own embryos so that he knows what he's got rather than me having to cut and paste this. There's not a huge number, there's 45 pages of embryos here, but this is my quiet time of year.